Well, hello there, stamping friends. It's Traci Raether from Plum Crazy Stamping. So glad that you're here tonight. Just kind of, let's focus in a little bit there. Anyway, I'm so excited. It's time for the Paper Pumpkin Workshop, and we are going to be working with the June 2023 kit called Welcome In. It actually goes well with I think it's Countryside Suite, the one that is blue and has the multiple things that look like a rug with many designs. So if you happen to have that set, this goes really well with this paper pumpkin. I'm also finding that it goes really well with the framed florets set as well. So I'm going to be using that with some of the additional cards that I show you tonight, using some of the leftover supplies that I have, getting more out of the card kit. So the card kit we're going to use tonight is designed for 9 cards with 9 matching envelopes. And the way that I'm going to go about it, I'm actually going to set it up to have 18 cards. And so I get a lot more for my money doing that, and I don't think we're losing anything, but I will leave that up to you as you see the alternative designs that I'm going to share tonight. Let me go ahead and I'll flip the camera down. While I'm doing that, please leave your name, where you're watching from, and also use the comments if you have any questions or feedback on this paper pumpkin project. So happy to have you here. Now I'm going to go upside down for just a minute as I flip this so you can see my desktop. Okay, and let me get the computer caught up here. And it's tuning in. There we go, and I want to be able to see your comments. Awesome. Okay, and just as we're getting started, I wanted to remind you that if you are watching the live workshop or watching this sometime in July of 2023, right now Stampin' Up! Is hosting bonus days, which means for every $50 of product that you buy between July 6th and the 31st, you earn a coupon for $5 that you'll be able to redeem in August on any product purchase. So don't forget that any orders that you put in, you will be getting an email back from Stampin' Up! That has a coupon code, and you need to hang on to those so that you can use them in August. Okay, the other opportunity that is going on right now is I, as Plum Crazy Stamping, am hosting a Rain and Shine Sweet Collection free 4-card tutorial for anyone that purchases at least $50 of product from me during the month of July. And then I will send you this free 12-page tutorial, which has pictures of the cards, pictures of the steps to make the card. It has all of the paper cutting dimensions, as well as a supply list for all of the cards in this tutorial. So this is free with a $50 purchase. All right, let's hop into our paper pumpkin. This is our monthly subscription program. And so it comes to us in this box. And as I said, we're doing the Welcome In June 2023 kit. And along with each kit comes an instruction, all color instruction. It was funny, I was looking back on some old ones I had, and they were not in color and not as detailed. Well, now it's very, very easy with these color instructions. There's also a series of pictures here to put together the different parts and pieces out of the whole kit to make the separate projects. Excuse me. Here is actually a picture of the kit as it was designed to make the 9 cards. On the back, they show you all the parts and pieces so you can double check that you have everything. They also have a QR code here that you can use to see a video of how to actually do the kit if you don't have the opportunity to watch a workshop. Now, what I'm going to do tonight is actually put the 3 projects together as designed by Paper Pumpkin and Stampin' Up! And then I'm going to show you 3 other cards using these same supplies. It's also nice that they tell you the coordinating colors. So with this one, Balmy Blue, Boho Blue, Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, Early Espresso, Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy, and Old Olive. And you're going to see me bringing some of those colors into this workshop tonight. All right, so let's see here. So we've got some Terran tape, one of our types of adhesive with this kit. We also received the stamp set. Let's see if I just move this, you can probably see this stamp set a little bit better. There's a kind of a rectangle filled with floral design, very pretty vase. Welcome, thank you for your hospitality and friend sentiments. There's a stem, flower, and you're invited, so you could use these for invitations as well. I already have these mounted on my acrylic blocks for tonight, and they are photopolymer, so I will be bringing in my Pearson mat to do my stamping. And in light of the unique design of the different die cuts they're providing for this, they've provided some unique dimensionals in long lines or short lines to put on our projects tonight that will not show if they were dots. So I thought that was kind of cool. So we'll be using that. And then I also got some Night of Navy. No, you know what? I bet you this is, I'm not sure what blue it is. Maybe they are Night of Navy. Gems, or acrylic dots, I think they're more like, instead of gems, that are going to be used on our projects tonight as well. Also, we got a Night of Navy spot in here, and I'm going to use my full-size stamp pad because I save my spots for when I'm at a crop or stamp cap. And let's see, why don't we go ahead and get started? I think we're ready to go. So I have already assembled the different pieces that I need for the 3 projects. So we're going to start with project number 1. And let me get the, let's see here. You can see the instructions and the Pierce mat, and let's bring in the first set of what we're going to need for this card. So we have some of the die cuts that they've provided as part of the kit. So I've got those laid out. We've got this beautiful card base. Now the way that I'm going to take this from 9 cards to 18 cards is I'm literally going to cut this card base in half. Now this is lovely to get a card base that has, you know, the design on both sides, but I really feel like I can create 2 card fronts and just add a thick, basic, white, thick cardstock to be my card base and get a lot more out of this. And I don't think anybody minds if their card base is white on the back. So I'm going to go ahead and just trim this and grab my trimmer here. And just, I'm actually going to cut this down to the card front size of 4 inches. By 5 1/4. All right, and all the multiple colors in here, it's going to be the last card alternative I show you today because I am going to use a number of different colors with some layering to show you how you can make a real standout card. So we've got this one ready to go, and I'm going to go ahead and just glue this on to the front of my basic white thick cardstock here that I have cut just like a basic card base. I'll show you that in a minute after I glue this on here. So I'm just going to center this on the front using my multi-purpose glue because I have the opportunity to slide it in place and make sure that it's straight. It helps me to do that. Okay, and this is just a half a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, cut at 5.5 this way, 8.5 this way, and scored at 4 1/4. Okay, and now we'll follow the directions on our instructions for the project, and we're going to do a little stamping here. So let me go ahead and get my stamp pad. And this is our Night of Navy. Do you know this was one of the original colors of all time was Stampin' Up! Night of Navy is one of a few. Old Olive is another one. And I'm not sure of any others, but I know those two have been in basically since the beginning of Stampin' Up! So we're going to do the thank you for your hospitality. Just going to tap this on my ink pad here. Make sure that I've got all of the letters on the sentiment inked up here. As I said, I'm going to do this on my Pierce mat down on the bottom of this die cut. Okay, and then we'll go ahead. I always have my chamois off to the side here to wash off my stamps as I go. Okay, so we have thank you for your hospitality. Then I am going to just close my ink pad so as I do this I don't get anything on it. Then I'm going to put the adhesive on as they have suggested. So the long banner, they want me to use the instructions say to use the tear and tape. This is a really nice adhesive and a very strong adhesive. So I think that they are providing this in the kit to introduce us to this because this isn't necessarily one of the adhesives that I would use with this type of piece because it's not requiring any special level of really being super strong, because I use the tear and tape especially when I make 3D projects. As I said, it's a very strong adhesive, and so many times that's what I'll use when I'm making boxes and those kind of things. Okay, now here they're suggesting that we use these unique dimensionals they provided for us. So I'm going to go ahead and pop some of these straight line dimensionals out of here, maybe. There we go. Actually, I guess the two of them are going to come out at the same time. That's fine. I need two. One on each side. See how nice this is instead of trying to put so many different pieces of dots on here. And you can get dimensionals like this in the catalog too, and then just cut them to the size that you want them to be. They're really great for when you're making shaker cards using window sheets and putting some sequins or cutout things that you want to move around on your cards. You would actually then make sure all of these would meet so that none of the sequins would fall out from in there. Oh, and they want us to put this on the vase too. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and assemble the card. going to just center the banner. There we go. And then I'm going to take the paper covering off of my dimensionals here. And I'm sorry I haven't looked who's here yet. Don't forget to sign in and let me know where you're watching from and if you have any questions. And if you're watching this on the replay, I do return to the broadcast and keep an eye if anybody asks things at a later date, so don't hesitate. Please still sign in, and also if you have questions, let me know. Okay, so we have, sorry, my head was in the way. I was just putting that on here, and then I'm going to take the paper covering off of the dimensional on the back of the vase. And it's nice to pop this up because now the vase looks like it's a little bit away from the flowers that are there, and that sticks up. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some of the dimensionals they've provided here. So I'm going to get my take your pick tool, and sometimes I use this round, very pointy end, or there is this little spatula. Let's try the spatula end today and see how that works for getting these dimensionals where we, not dimensionals, little sequins where they want them to go, or they're suggesting. There we go. Might be a little easier to just get these on your little spatula. All right. There is our first card as designed by Stampin' Up! And then you could put an additional thank you. You could use some of the stamps that are provided in the set here to embellish inside. And then let me show you the very pretty envelope that goes along with this. So then it has this matching envelope. So this will be beautiful even as it arrives in the mail. Okay, let's set this one off to the side here. And we'll go to card number 2. So let's go ahead and get this one. And so once again, I have the die pieces that are a part of this kit. I have the card base, which once again is, double-sided. I'm going to cut this one just like I did the other one, and I'm going to use a piece of my basic white to, get 2 cards out of this instead of 1. So let me just bring in the trimmer again here. I'm going to go and just score my card base here at 4 1/4. And then I'm going to cut from this 4 inches for the regular card front size that I use, and then 5 1/4. Okay. So we'll go ahead and just going to use my bone folder to make my card base here. And I would be doing that if I decided to use the whole colored card base they had provided. And I'll go ahead and just attach this to the front of the card. All right. So this is more of our Calypso Coral color. All right, and then in this one, they actually would like us to use the stamp they provided to make just this white cutout actually the Native Navy. So get back out my ink pad here. And I have a stamp. And now I'll just remind you how important it is when you have a solid stamp like this, that you need to get the whole images to make sure you have your die cut that you're going to be stamping on this pierce mat. Also, I'm trying to condition this stamp a little bit. This is the first time I'm using that. So a couple of things you can do is you can put ink on here and stamp on it. You can wash it off with your chamois or your Stampin' Scrub to get it conditioned. You can rub your finger on it so that there's no oil or any lint on here from manufacturing. And then after doing that, you should be able to get a much better, I don't know if you can see it, but now this is a much darker, more ink on the stamp, so it's going to look better when you do your stamping, okay? So, really important to take those steps to condition your stamp, especially if it's like a solid like this. And remember, the pierce mat is going to help there to be better coverage of the ink on this. And let me pull that off. I'm a little bit off to the side, but that will blend in with the white on the die cut, so it'll be fine. That might be one where if you want to make all of these vases at the same time, you might want to use your stamp positioning device or your stamparatus if you have one to make sure that you get it straight on. It's hard to do that. Let me show you this so you can see what I'm saying. It was a little off to the side. But remember, they're not to be perfect. They're handmade cards, and that's part of the beauty of knowing that they're not manufactured, right? Okay, let's go ahead and layer this according to the instructions with the adhesive they provided. So the instruction says to put 2 things of tear and tape on this base die cut. And this really does tear nice. It's easy to use. All right, so we have that. On this very thin bordered die, the instructions are telling us to use these linear dimensionals. So let me go ahead and get those in place here. Now this is going to be nice because this very thin border is actually going to stand up from the front of the card, which will be really nice. And I'm going to use these shorter ones to go around the hexagon shape here. I like that they, in the kit, already have these provided and cut to the right size. It really makes for some fast card making. One of the things I love about Paper Pumpkin is I don't have to think about designs if I don't want to, although usually I can't help myself. But it can be a quick evening just of some crafting. I don't have to think up the project. All the things are gathered in one place, so I don't have to go digging through all my stuff. And before you know it, I have a bunch of cards. So I like the kit perspective for that reason. I also like that it comes in the mail. My husband, I think I've told you, he buys this for me every year, a 12-month subscription, and every month I get it as a Christmas present, and I absolutely love it. They let me know when it's been mailed. You know, now they tell us a little bit about the kit, but you don't get to see it. So you know a little bit about what's coming. When it's in the box, it's wrapped in tissue paper. Like I said, so I always feel like I'm getting this awesome present, and just makes my day. All right, let's go ahead and assemble this now. I have all the different adhesive on here. Our Take Your Pick tool is a good way to get these off too if you can't grab them with your fingernail. So know that that's an option. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this down, just leaving a little border on the front. There we go. Now I need to take this adhesive off of all of the sides here. Let me take a peek at who's watching. Hi, Vicki, Sue, Sandy. And I know there are more of you that are on here, and I'm sorry I can't see any more of the comments right now. Oop. I'll have this stuck on me yet. Okay, here we go. Just a few more. Okay, then I'm just going to very gently place this so that if I have to make an adjustment, I can just slide a little. There we go. I don't know if you can see how 3D that is, but it's really cool that it stands up and gives some dimension to this card. All right, so let me go ahead and we'll put our vase here. And if you can tell, you really can't see the white on here very much. If I really bugged me, I could have cut it off with the scissors, but the bottom of the vase would have looked a little funny, so I just left it. All right. And we'll just put our little sentiment flag on here. There we go. All right, and there is card number 2. Oh, I have to do the embellishments though. Almost forgot. Let's go ahead and get these with the Take Your Pick tool again. And I think that these embossed dots, if you were to be able to see them up close, I'll put this up to the camera for you. They are really standing up from the card, and they're so shiny. They look so pretty. They are really, I think, making quite the difference on this card. So there you go. Let me know, what do you think about those dots? Do you like the little embellishment that they add? All right, so that's card 2. Also with the blue envelope. I think the blue and the Calypso Coral look so pretty together. Just set those up there. Get this stuff cleaned off. We'll do our third project as designed by Paper Pumpkin before I show you some additional ideas. All right, so here we go with the third project. And I'm going to have to get my trimmer again. So I have die cut pieces again here. So we've got ourselves a couple of vases. We're going to do a different stamp to do this vase, and some banner here and a sentiment label. So we have some different die cuts that we're going to be using this time around. And I'm going to get the trimmer here and just trim this card front like I did the other ones. So once again, I'm just going to take this and go the 4 inches. And 5 1/4. All right. And where's my white? I probably need to score one of my pieces here at 4 1/4. All right. So we'll be folding this. Oh, Kathy, thank you. All right. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to do the same thing here and just attach this to my card front. I don't know, there's something about this night of navy and white that I think is so beautiful together. Okay, so we've got our card front. Now let's do some stamping. We are going to do the welcome on our sentiment label. So I'm just going to tap this in here again. Once again, try not to get too much ink, but make sure that I have the whole word with ink. There we have our welcome. Let's go ahead and take the this panel of flowers and leaves and make our own design on the bottom of this vase. So all our vases won't look alike. They'll have a little different personality. So I'm just going to go down a little bit and a little sideways here and make our unique vase. There we go with that. That would really be a fun stamp to just put down a strip of white paper and actually create a large banner on your card or, you know, another focal point. I think that's all the stamping we're going to do here right now, so I'll just move that aside. All right, and then I'm going to apply the adhesive as they're instructing me to. So let me just get my pierce mat out of the way. All right. So we're going to put this really pretty die cut on here, and I'm going to use the tear and tape for that. Now you could easily use your seal adhesive on this if you wanted to, not the tear and tape. Especially when it comes to Halloween and Christmas. I got a lot of 3D projects, so having the extra tear and tape around would be wonderful. Okay, let's see. They want it on this vase. They're going to have some of the, this is going to pop up, and the sentiment's going to pop up, and the vases, these two are going to stay flat, so that's why they're having me put the tear and tape on those. Let me go ahead and grab this for the vases. Okay. And for the sentiment. the sentiment would be a great place to use those sides of your strips of dimensionals. I don't know about you guys, but I keep these and I use these on long sentiments or straight banners. I have a whole bunch of those that I just keep. All right, so this time we're going to go ahead and make a landscape card. So let's take this adhesive off of here. There we go. We'll just go ahead and center this. And then we'll put our banner underneath, or on the bottom. All right. I'm going to leave it so that that border of dashed lines is exposed. I think that's so pretty. And we'll go ahead and pop up the sentiment here. Let's see. They've really got it covering the... I'm going to try to bump it up just a little bit so you can still see some of the design around the edge here. And then we'll get our centered vase that's going to pop up in the middle. I'm sliding it under here a little bit in the center. And then we'll put our two vases on each side. And just tuck it under there a little bit. So we have the one, and then our second one. Okay. There we go. And let's go ahead and add our little embossed dots here. Sometimes just catching them is the hardest thing. There we go. All right. So those are the three that were designed by Stampin' Up! For the project. And now I'm going to do the three that I created with the other half of the card bases. So I'm going to give you just an example that you can use in that regard. So as I said, I'm using the framed floret set. Now this was a bundle in the last catalog. Now the stamp set is available separately from the framed florets dies. And the ones that I'm using, the dies that I'm using, are these ovals. I don't know if you remember these. I've used them on other broadcasts, but there are a number of ovals that do different shapes, and I will be showing those to you. But those are the framed floret dies that I used, okay? So in this one, I just wanted to show you that I took the heart stamp, and that's how I ended up getting that cut out. And then I was doing balmy blue with this one that had the ridges. And I just glued this one on top. This one is actually the whole dark piece stays in place, and we just have the heart design. And then we had a leftover vase. And in this case, the last thing I'm going to do with this is take the little flower stamp from the stamp set that came with the paper pumpkin. And I'm going to just stamp a couple of flowers in the dark on white. Okay, and actually fussy cut those out. So that goes pretty quick. I'm going to leave a white background around it. Now I could use the flowers in the framed florets or the two-tone flora. That would all match with this. But I decided to use the ones in the paper pumpkin kit, so you wouldn't have to have any other set if you didn't have it available to you. You could just use the paper pumpkin. So we've got that one. Now there is a stem that is on this stamp set too, but I'm not going to deal with the stem right now. I'm just going to kind of have floating flowers, I guess. Make them look like they're coming out of the top of this vase. There's my second one. I like to do things in odd numbers, so we're going to do 3. We'll see how this looks. It may look a little better with 5, and it might look fine with 3. I'm not sure. I didn't try it yet. So I'm kind of taking you on my little adventure of seeing how this works. You'll see what I was doing when you see the other cards I'm making, kind of figuring out how I was going to do the different die cuts I was making here. So let's, 2 of these I'm going to actually glue down, you know, just to the card front, and 1 I'm going to pop up. So let me get just 1 of my regular dimensionals. Okay. So as I said, I'm going to do like, I think I'll put 1 there. And the only way that this works is if I leave the white around the flower, if you can see what I'm doing. And then this is the one that I'm going to pop up. So it's kind of going to be the top one. So there is the 1 card. And then this I would put inside, and I would decide what sentiment I wanted, and I would actually emboss it in white. So I'm not going to do the embossing tonight, but I will tell you I'm doing a heat embossing with Christmas card designs class starting next week. So the registration will be here on my Facebook page if you're interested in learning about heat embossing. But I think the white embossed would be really pretty in here. And then you could either write around it, you know, or just put someone's name here and sign your own. But I thought that that looked nice. So that is card 1 as an alternative. The second one is our Calypso Coral card. So I decided to, remember I have the card front here, but I wanted to layer with Calypso Coral, but I wanted to get the most out of it. So I cut this out, and then the solid came with it. So this is what I got with my framed florets die, and I'm going to use it all on this card. So let me first put down the bottom layer here, just with a little glue. And whenever I layer cardstock like this, if I have the time or my die cut stuff's around, I always try to do a layer and cut the something out of it so that it's not wasted. Okay, and then I'm going to layer this on as the second layer of my card front. Oh, Kathy, thank you about the compliment on my fussy cutting. All right, there we have that. And now, you know, you could put this on here, but then if I had a white sentiment that I could cut out with a die cut, this could be really pretty, you know. I didn't have one right now, and I was trying not to have so many sets that somebody would need. So I liked the center of this, and I want to pop this up, so I'm going to use my regular dimensionals on this. Add a little interest, right? I also wanted to just add with the class that I'm doing next week. It'll be the second class that I'm doing with my new Plum Crazy, that's C-R-A-Z-Y, card design formula. And along with doing the class, I want to teach you more about how can you design your own cards. And so I actually am going to be teaching that formula for the second time. I got some great feedback from people in class last month, and so they found it very helpful. Someone said that they actually used that formula and didn't know, but that's how they make their cards when they design them. So that was good to know. Good test. All right, so this one, I'm going to do the same thing with making my vase, but I need my Calypso coral. Here we go. Just pop this open. Okay, get my mat here. And I think it's time to put more ink in Calypso coral here. Okay. Leave that sit out so I remember to add to it. There's nothing like a well-inked stamp pad. It really does make a difference. All right, so then this is going to go right here. And I would, I'm not going to take your time tonight, but after we're done here, before I take pictures of this and post for you, I'm going to do the same thing with Calypso coral flowers on here with a white outside. And then for this one, I'm going to actually use this for my inside signature. I need my silicone mat here though. And I'm just going to put a little glue on different corners of this outline, die cut. Just a little glue here and there. Okay. I think the kind of Victorian look of the pattern on this paper lends itself to this oval on the inside. So you can write your little note right in there and something a little different. So that is the second card that I designed. Once again, you can probably see a theme of how I'm kind of trying to use this other set of dies. And now this is the one, little extra layering going on. And I think in the past I've shared with you that I have my little, I don't know, I call it a little guide here for layering and the sizes going down. And then if I want to make a thin layer on here, well, then I'll just slide the paper either, you know, a 1/16 down or a 1/16 up or an 1/8 up or an 1/8 down, because these are in 1/4 inch measurements. So, you know, I'll go to the 1/8 or to the 1/16 depending upon how I want my layers to happen. So you're going to see I have a lot of these scraps because I was taking different amounts of edges off these pieces of paper to do my layering, okay? So the first thing I did is I have this Night of Navy, and I'm going to be covering this with a layer, but I'm going to have a white layer that's solid. That is my first one I'm putting on my card base here, right? So why not make something look extra special from the inside and get a die cut out of this and make this look cool on the inside? So you can see the white on the inside, and I'm going to glue down the white on here. And so the thing is, I'm going to put my glue on the blue so I don't get any glue in this open area. I'm going to take my bone folder here to just make a better fold, then it'll stay straight, okay? And like I said, I'm going to put a little glue, but remember, I don't want to go right on the edge because I have a border. So I'm going to go in a little bit. Of course, my glue is gummed up and starting to run out. Okay. And I'm going to layer my first layer on here is my white. And this is just basic white regular cardstock. Okay. Yeah, and I have glue on my finger and it's getting stuck to everything. All right. So there's our first layer. Then I wanted another layer, and before I, you know, glued this down, I did another die cut, but I just wanted a very thin white. So this is one of the examples of, I went from the 4 and 5 1/4, and I just went down a 1/8 of an inch instead of a 1/4 of an inch when I cut the blue piece of cardstock. So let's go around and just get this one ready to glue. Now remember, very thin border. When they're that thin, take the extra time to line them up. It does matter if it's straight. Okay. Well, then I took actually the piece of cardstock, that's the star of the card here, and I made a thicker border around here. I added an 1/8, another 1/8, I guess. So this was probably, I think I took off a 1/2 inch here so that this would be a 1/4 inch all the way around. I was, you know, playing a bit here with different size borders, thinking that would add interest to this card. And I thought this card front is so pretty. Okay, so there we have the star of the show. And then from the other things that I was cutting out, I had leftovers, and I liked bringing the dark Night of Navy back in here. And this is the one that I cut out, you know, of the card front. And then I had this left over from the other one I had done. So now what I want to do is, I think I'm gonna pop up the bright blue, and I'll anchor my navy blue. So let's do this. Okay, so I want to get this centered and straight. And one of the things, I don't know if you can see it, but see these 3 flowers? When I cut this paper, this card front up from what I had left, I actually cut off a little on each side because I was looking at the pattern, and it would have looked funny if one of these would have been cut off more than the other. So when you're cutting, look at the design on your designer series paper before you go running up the side of it, because if I had done that and not paused, I would have been very upset with myself. So, oh, and this one I'm going to pop up with dimensionals. And sometimes, I'm not thinking and I do those things and, oh, well, then I just say it's art, right? But if I happen to be being mindful of what I'm doing, sometimes I can do a better design. So I look for those kind of things. And no, this isn't boho blue. I am sticking with balmy blue, but let me show you. I actually have a piece of boho blue sitting here because I was thinking about doing that. This is the difference between boho blue and balmy blue. So you can see, I decided to go with the balmy blue because of this flower in here. So either one probably would have worked. Now I have glue in my hair. Okay, aren't we having fun? And then I'm going to do this face, and I thought this would be so pretty with just a single bloom. But I want it to be a little bit bigger. So let me just get this glued down. I probably should have stamped on this before. So I'm probably going to have to do the flower and fussy cut it. And this is where I'm going to use the framed floret. So either I can fussy cut this, or I can, let's see here. Well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the smaller of these 2 flowers in the Night of Navy. I know I have my scrap right here, and I have a block right here. I want you to be able to see the finished card. Say, yes, Tracy, follow through, right? Except I didn't do the one with the orange, or the Calypso Coral. Actually, I could use this same flower maybe. There's the blue one. Let me wash this off and do the Calypso Coral one. I left the stamp pad out here. And let's see if we like just one on that one or not. Now this has a die, but I think it's faster for me to fussy cut it. So any other comments here? Oh, Mary Lynn, thank you. Very nice. Yeah, I really try to use as many pieces as I can, or I save them inside, with the stamp set in a little cellophane bag, because you never know when either that can be the feature of your next card, or you need one more of something and you already have it done. So right, let's do our orange. Orange Cajun, no, not Cajun Curries, Calypso Coral. These are some of the colors I'm most familiar with. The new ones I'm doing okay. Haven't used a whole bunch of them yet. I love the new in colors. I'm surprised, but once I started using them together, I like them because I really love the brightness of the last set of in colors, which we can still use right now. You know, the Orchid Oasis and all of that. Okay, let's see how this looks. So I think I'm going to, guys, I'm not going to commit to this. I don't know that I like this on there. What do you think? I think I'm going to have to use the flower, this flower that I used before, and either put one or go back with the 3. I think this looks funny. I was hoping to do it, but maybe if I did it with some of those flowers, it would be okay. Let me just finish off how I decided to do this card. So, I thought, why not go all out, and I'm going to do a double layer inside here. So this is going to be for one of those special occasions. You know, with the extra layers and all of that. I love the detail of doing this, but don't always take the time nor, you know, use the paper for this. But you could definitely put, like in here, I could use these flowers in this circle, you know, to really make that special, and then use these circles and this, you know, one of these sentiments inside. And then, like I said, I haven't got the flower figured out for this, but that's where we're going to. Let's see here. Yep. This one, this would probably work, but I need 3 of them. So I'll be finishing those, and you'll see them on the in the newsletter and online when I finish them. Oh, and the other reason that I kept all of this was to do some special you know, I have these different edges that I can use to decorate it, or maybe with the double it's plenty, but I have all of these that I can use as I continue to make my 18 cards with this set. So anyway, I hope that gives you more ideas and lets you know. So for $23.50, I'm going to make 18 cards. So it's a little over $1 a card, plus I'm adding a little cardstock. But if you can see the quality, sorry, I'm picking scraps off the floor. They all fell on the floor. Anyway, you can see the quality of this and how much you can delight people. Plus, you have the crafting fun. And I think that's a really important part of using the paper pumpkin kit. So let me just set these out here. I'm just trying to get the ink out of the way here. We've got our 3. Alternative cards, and we have then the envelopes with the kit cards, which are beautiful with the die cuts that they provided, and so easy. You can tell. So what are we at? 7:05 in an hour. I have 6 cards and a lot of explaining, so I could have made them in less time if I were just doing them, obviously, by myself. But I am so glad to share them with you. I hope that this gives you, some ideas of your own and really how you can just put some ovals together with a feature image, do some layering, use dimensionals on a card or two on the front, and you probably have something that someone would be very happy to receive in the mail. Anyway, let me go ahead and put this up and say thanks again for coming to my Paper Pumpkin workshop tonight. Remember, this was our June kit. The July kit, is today the 10th? Yes. Today's the last day you can still get the July kit. And then that'll be gone. And then the next kit will be available on the 11th, the August kit that you can buy during the month of July. Anyway, if you have any questions or you're interested in getting Paper Pumpkin, don't hesitate to contact me at Traci, Traci, at plumcrazystamping.com. I thank you again for joining me, and I say happy stamping, and I'll look forward to seeing you on my regular Facebook Live, summer hours, 1 p.m. this week, Wednesday. See you then. Take care. Bye-bye now.